On the S60 perhaps other models there are two designated jacking points. This is the front one and this is the rear one, and they are pretty close to the middle of the car, which I actually find it a little bit inconvenient because it won't lift properly the front of the car. So usually what I would do, I will get my hydraulic the jack, and I will keep I will just place a piece of wood like this, and I will just place it. There is a plastic trim here, and towards the exterior of the car there is a metal rim which is pretty solid, so I will just place that wood underneath that, center it to this exterior part, not the whole thing but just the exterior part of this plastic trim, and I will just lift it there. Notice I'm just slightly, there's a bump here, I just don't want to grab that bump, I'm just after that bump. Just make sure it's really centered on the metal part that's underneath. I will just lift it. And you see there's a plate here. This is the plate for the subframe, for the rear subframe bolt, which is this one. And prior to this I used to put the hydraulic jack underneath there, but what I realized in time is that forcing on this plate will make these two bolts to break a little bit loose, and then when I was driving the car in a parking lot, just maneuvering at small speed, when I would apply the brakes I will hear a knocking sound, just like a knock, and that would be the plate will, because the two bolts weren't tight enough, the plate will move like this, with one movement will make a clack sound. So for this reason I'm not jacking here anymore, but I will still place the jack stand right underneath the bolt of the subframe. So you have like a groove here in the jack stand. I'll just place it right underneath. Be careful not to grab the plate itself, just like that, and I will lower the car over the jack stand, over the bolt, actually bolt head, and that's in the front. In the rear of the car, and when you move at the rear again, I would place my hydraulic jack to lift the car here. It's a plastic, but actually underneath the plastic it's a metal rim. I will just really carefully center it on this part with a piece of wood, and once the car is lifted I will place the top of the jack, I will place it underneath this plate to keep the car in the air and to work underneath the car, because you obviously never use the hydraulic jack to support the car while working under it. And that's pretty much it. But I say again, if you are in a emergency on the road, you need to change a well, you just grab the jack that's in the trunk, spare jack, and just lift at these points here.